Welcome to Comics League Dark. I'm Jared. I'm here with Robert. What's up, man?
Yo, what up?
And today we are discussing. We have quite a few certain topics. You want to start with the movies or the comics?
I say comics.
All right, so let's start with the comics. So we got some reveals on Absolute Batman. Spoiler for the most recent Absolute Batman issue. What's up, Cameron? And today it was revealed, interestingly enough, that in the Absolute Universe, Martha Wayne, Bruce Wayne's mother, is a former Talon of the Court of Owls, which, then again, that's really something they've been playing with, because aren't there a few comics where, like, she was at least, like, in Arkham?
Yeah, some versions have that.
So I'm like, okay, and plus, in the Absolute Universe, where there is, like, a push toward necessarily evil, I'm like, okay, that's actually pretty cool. That actually is really dope. I really enjoy that. And yes, that was genius. And what's up, Dave? Yes, Zack is returning. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff. This further shows a lot of really good stuff with the Absolute Universe, because it's like, look, you can do a lot of really crazy stuff with the origins. And I really feel like they did a lot of really dope stuff with that. Plus, I love Absolute Poison Ivy. She is terrifying, bro.
Yep, agreed.
She is very terrifying. It's like the way that they do, like, her origin, like, burning up, and then the only part that's left of her is her heart. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Good point.
That is quite a really weird thing. But what do you think of Martha Wayne being a Talon, Robert?
I like it.
Yeah, and
I think it's a very interesting idea. It continues on an interesting tradition about Martha being related to some villain.
Yeah,
or someone important.
Because isn't that kind of something they've even done in the main universe?
Yep, definitely.
Cameron says Ivy and Crane are nightmare fuel. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of nightmare fuel people in this. Which, all in all, it's like, well, here's the thing. It's like, what was Scott doing before the Absolute Universe started? He was doing a bunch of horror indie comics. So I'm like, of course, the dude can do horror really well.
Exactly.
That's always been like one of the one of his strengths. And it's like, of course, he would eventually reference the Court of Owls, because someone's going to ask about that, of course. And then Dave says, I love body horror Poison Ivy. She looks like a dark twist on Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be
intentional.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that was intentional. There's something I've been noticed. It's always that comes from the villain side. Yes, a lot of times, yes. Although sometimes they do it where Thomas Wayne has some connection to, like, the mob or something like that. But she's the only one that's like, a lot of times when they need someone to be connected to like criminals, it's her.
I think that's because she's the one that's more of a blank slate than others.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, this is
the woman who either got shot in the heart, or died of a broken heart or bad heart,
or turned into the Joker.
I'm talking about the one that was canon.
Yeah, and by Robert, you were sounding kind of
muffled. Sorry about that. It went down my shirt collar.
Oh, okay, it's all good.
Does that sound better?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the other thing I really like about this is, again, it's more of the Absolute Universe being able to reinvent characters in new ways, and it's like, it's not necessarily like a big deal, because it's like, oh, okay, it's an Elseworlds thing. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep.
And so that's really what I want to talk about with that. But it's like, there's a lot of really good DC stuff coming out, which I'm really excited for. And again, it's like, Robert and I have been talking about this for a while. It's like, DC just keeps destroying Marvel. And Jay Heat's here, so let me play his intro. Yo.
Flame on. How's everybody doing tonight?
How you doing?
What's up?
Did you read the most recent Absolute Batman?
Yeah.
So what do you think of Martha Wayne being a Talon?
Huh?
So what do you think of Martha Wayne being a Talon?
I mean,
Or
I kind of saw
former.
that. I kind of saw that coming. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because how else are you gonna justify only one of the Waynes being tragically unalived?
Well, Thomas was the only one that went to the zoo that day.
Yes, and who orchestrated that tragedy? The Court of Owls.
Oh, okay.
True.
You could kind of see that, and maybe that's what made Martha turn against the court. That could be something.
Either she was trying to get out, because usually what members of the court try to leverage their firstborn son, well, the whole Grayson method, where they barter their firstborn son to continue like the talents and contribution to the secret society. Martha wanted out of it, but in order to save Bruce, she had to condemn Thomas and live with it.
Wasn't there a new 52 Talon book like back in the day?
Yep.
How was that?
It was good, actually.
Pretty good. Basically, I don't know if it was on his mom's side or on his dad's side.
Oh, no. The tale was related to neither.
No. Wait, wasn't he Grayson's ancestor?
No. Not the one that was in the book.
Hang
He
on.
was separate.
Hang on.
All the hopes and dreams of Krypton live in you now.
We got all four!
Hey!
What's up, T-Man?
What's up?
So we're
It's
talking
been a
about...
while, man. Good to hear from you.
So, Teladia, what do you think of Martha Wayne being a Court of Owls Talon?
Well, that's interesting.
It's one of those things. It's like, immediately what popped up to my mind was in the Batman, where it's like Martha Wayne was like in Arkham that was actually crazy and stuff. So I'm like,
Just like Earth 1.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like, the thing that I like about the Absolute Universe with this, it's combining all the good stuff about like New 52, Earth 1 and such, but not repeating the mistakes.
Yep.
Because that's the big thing. Because it's like a lot of the New 52 was great, but even Britt and I, who are the biggest New 52 fans probably on the internet, should have Paulie, were like, there were a few things that they could have done a lot.
A few?
Yeah.
Just a few?
Huh?
Just a few?
Well, I mean timing. You know what I mean, Robert.
I know.
Oh, in Arkham, or is it a new name? I think she's still a. Yeah, what?
A Kane. She was a Kane still in Arkham.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, she's either been a Kane or an Arkham.
I see. That makes sense. That makes sense. But yeah, so yeah, it's like Absolute Batman just keeps killing it. But I think that's the time we can move on for a little bit. So let's do some gaming discussion. So Teladia, we've been getting lots of reveals about that Lego game. Chief among them, one of the skins is classic Lego Batman.
Of course. Classic Lego Batman 2008 video game is actually making its way to Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, which is interesting. So that's not one of the only things that happened in the last few weeks.
Elaborate, my friend.
Okay. Warner Brothers Discovery did an earnings call in the last few weeks, and they mentioned about 2027 and 2028 being a big year for Warner Brothers games. And I believe, from what I've been told, that Warner Brothers games will have their big hitters coming out next year and the year after.
Right.
So think about it like this. So you have the next Batman game next year. You could have the potentially a DCU game coming out.
Okay.
So you have those. And then on top of that, you could have Hogwarts Legacy 2.
Good point.
So in the next couple of years, WB tend to have more than just one IP, big hitting IP coming out.
I'm not surprised.
Which they need, because here's the thing. It's like the past few years have been very brutal for WB Games, or like any studio that's under Warner Brothers, because like you have short of Hogwarts, You had Suicide Squad kill the Justice League. You have Gotham Knights, which Gotham Knights is the better game, but it was a bit better received, but it still was not like up to their projections. You can correct me on that, Teladia. But it's like even with Suicide Squad, where they lost like $200 million on this. And here's the thing again. It's like, okay, so I understand that they keep making Batman games because Batman sells. We all acknowledge that, right?
Yep.
Right.
But the problem is, it's like they come out so infrequently. I let me put it this way. At this point, just do a Justice League game where you play as Batman so that you can get the Justice League characters in a game. I would accept that at this point.
True.
What do you think, Robert?
I agree.
How about you, Jay?
I completely agree.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, you got to justify it somehow.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But and then Karen says with a TV show coming, there's definitely going to be a Hogwarts Legacy 2. Oh yeah, plus that game did way too well for them not to do that. And then he says, I mean, Arkhamverse was their bread and butter and went on for years. Yeah, I know, and I get that, but it's like the thing is, it's like until Wonder Woman really becomes a higher selling like IP. I mean, like this way, they could still do a Wonder Woman like a game for sure. The problem is if they were to do that, it's like it's not necessarily guaranteed that it would sell like gangbusters.
True.
But so hey, what's up, Tavia? I still wonder if we'll try and resurrect Arkhamverse or leave it with Suicide Squad. Honestly, again, I still say do one more game that takes place after it, because that way Suicide Squad just becomes like a stumbling and not the end of the Arkhamverse. That's the best way to.
That's true.
Just do one more game. You don't have to do a bunch more games. Just do one more. Just do one more, because then again, it's just a tripping point. Other than that, okay, that's fine. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Yeah, it's like because again, when you look at the name of the Arkham thing, I really feel like when you look at the name, when you look at the reputation of the Arkhamverse, I really do feel again that it's like you don't want to leave it on a bottom note.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see what else. Isn't it also in depth because the deal of cutting jobs from WB Games? Well, it doesn't necessarily. Well, yes, they will be cutting jobs, but it's like because reportedly the other bit of news that relates to this, so I'll bring it up here, is that Ellison met with like all the CEOs of stuff, and while it didn't go very well from the WB side, the thing that is important for us is that Ellison talked a lot about how much he loves DC and movies. So what this indicates to me is he's going to be essentially most likely really wanting to get all the DC projects out, because let's be fair. Short of their legendary film slate, the major reason why someone would want to buy Warner Brothers is DC.
That's true.
Yes.
But what do you think, Teladia?
When it comes down to the Paramount side of things, Warner Brothers, when it comes down, especially when it comes down to Warner Brothers games, they want to capitalize on such big IPs, right? The Arkham name, right? I don't see them laying off studios left, right, and center just to make a buck or two, because they could make millions from this.
Mm-hmm. Particularly if they really capitalize on DC again. And then and then Karen says, actually, I agree with Dave with the Arkhamverse with a Beyond style game. Yeah, you could do that and then just end it like that and make it where like what you could do is not have the Batman Beyond game in the Arkham take place dramatically in the future. Just have it take place majorly in the future and make it where Bruce Wayne died, so you don't necessarily have to recast Kevin.
Yep, and have there be a Damian.
Yeah, exactly. Just do the gaming game. Yeah.
I mean, not a lot of people accepted that.
Yeah, but at the very least, that's like a way that you can like end the Arkhamverse without ending it on Suicide Squad kill the Justice League. Because let's face it, that's not exactly the way you want to like end your big franchise that everyone remembers your studio for.
Fair enough.
And Tevio, yeah, we're probably only going to get one more Injustice game, even though, again, I'm on record saying I'd rather that universe die a painful death. Hey, what's up, Hunter? How you doing, my brother? So let's move on to unless Teladia, you have anything else to add about the gaming, I think we should move on.
Yeah, I've got one last thing to say.
Okay, yeah, 100%.
Okay, so when it comes down to video games itself, just expect either Summer Game Fest, Gamescom, or the Game Awards. One of those three events that we are going to get some announcements. I've been told, particularly those.
Sorry about that, guys. Had a phone call.
All right.
It's all right. When it comes down to those three events, if the games are initially coming out in 2027 or 2028, those are the three big events to look out for. Summer Game Fest tend to have games. No, I think it's Gamescom. They normally have games that are gonna come out next year, the next quarter or whatnot. And from what I remember last year they did that with a few games as well, which were coming out which came out this year. So I'm probably expecting the same. And they did the similar thing with Dragon Ball, where when the Dragon Ball game was hyped up, everything was riding on these events, and they did that at, I believe it's Summer Game Fest or something. Jay, correct me if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
I think it was one of those events where they showed off a gameplay which was released for the next year.
Yes, they did.
So yeah,
that should be fun. All right, so now let's talk about the big topic this week. So, and now, as we have talked about many times before, it's possible to like conclude the Snyderverse as an Elseworlds book. Now, the reason why we're bringing this up now is because Zack has been teasing it. Some insiders have been teasing it. And the thing is, it's like with the Paramount, with like the Saudis being very friendly with Zack, it seems to me like there could be stuff coming down the pipeline. And even Shane Davis did a video about the Lanterns thing. And actually, we do have to talk about Lanterns. But one of the things he said is like with Superman coming up for public domain a few years. Now, again, that doesn't mean everything for Superman is public domain. Let's be clear. But the thing is, it would be advantageous for WB to want to double up on Superman movies. Because when you think about it, if they start making Henry Cavill Superman movies and David Cornsweet, they're just releasing 2 Superman movies, like twice the amount of Superman movies.
True.
And then Cameron says, I want him to return and Gunn him and Gunn could both do the projects double. Yeah, exactly. Because if you do both of them, guess what? Everyone is happy. And then Dave says if they could even call the Damon game Batman Arkham 666. See, here's the problem, Dave.
No.
Here's the problem, Dave. I know why you're making that suggestion, and it's a great suggestion. There's no way the marketing people would let them call a game Batman 666.
Nope.
It'd be funny,
no way.
but no.
Especially with current status of, viewpoints these days, no.
There is absolutely no way. But anyway, it isn't that. Yeah, that's why I said to Tevye that like it's not like all of Superman is going for public domain. There's no way DC would ever let that happen. All I'm saying is like with that, it's like we're getting to the point where I could conceivably have Golden Age Superman show up in the Athena comics.
Now here's the thing you got to remember: just because it happens does not mean they still have trademarks for things, and you can only have him as he appeared in Action Number 1.
Yeah, so he can't fly. Kryptonite does not exist.
No Lex.
No Lex. So
all you have is Lois and Clark. Ha!
Oh, if Lois is public domain.
The Daily Star.
Have fun with that.
You have the Daily Star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so see, the problem I have with a lot of creators is that they're representing the public domain thing like all of Superman is going to be public domain, which, Robert, you and I know that's not the way this works.
No, because they got to slowly wait and everything else trickles out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. When everyone's saying Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are going to be public domain, what that means is like it's just as they exist in the golden age. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Like and here's the other thing we have to remember: a lot of Superman stuff didn't come out for another decade afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
So you're not going to have much of it until for another more further years.
Yeah, exactly. So most likely the way I could see this happening is, and here's the thing, with the Saudi money being behind Paramount, I could see them doing live action, like a live action one movie to conclude it and be done with it.
Of course, though, again, given everything going on currently, who knows how much that Saudi money is going to be worth.
Well, yeah, exactly, with the Iran thing. But it's like, my point is, like, let's say it like lasts, is what I'm saying. It's like, conceivably, we could get one live action movie to conclude, and maybe Zack does like Dark Knight Returns finally because he's always wanted to do a straight up like adaptation of Dark Knight Returns. By the way, Cameron says, now the downside to Zack's returning is, okay, would Paramount cave to online comments, i.e. the Bird app? Well, here's the thing again. If they think that there's money involved in what Zack does, like what I would honestly consider doing is maybe doing a special release and releasing like his movies in a special theatrical run, like let's say ZSJL or BVS Ultimate Edition, and then just seeing how that works. If it does great, then it's like, okay, we'll consider doing more of this. If it doesn't, or as Willie might have suggested, DC Comics does a comic book, then you get actual metrics now, and then guess what? You can come to them and say, hey, in this market where comics aren't selling as well as they did, they're still selling pretty well, particularly DC, but it's like in this market where the comics are having trouble selling, we managed to sell like, let's say 100,000 copies of this book, and I think Robert had internet issues, then it's like, oh, okay, maybe we should actually invest in this. But what do you think, Jay Heat?
I would
Sorry
say
about that.
It's all good.
Okay, as for me, now again, nothing is confirmed.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing is confirmed. I mean, even with the logistics. Now, is Paramount the better of the two evils? Yes, I would say between Paramount and Netflix, especially from a movie theater standpoint. Say we can admit Hollywood's decline, the optics, the pander. We could argue that till we're blue in the face. We'd be here all night if we even tried. But at the end of the day, we're in the situation now. We're currently with the commission. It's likely going to go through. Now, are we going to get anything Zack Snyder related? Probably not. It remains to be seen. But if something were to happen, I could easily see like a tie-in comic or a limited series on Paramount Plus, or maybe HBO Max. Best case scenario. And again, I'm being gracious to both sides. But as for the Snyderverse or anything like that, I feel like let's see what Man of Tomorrow does. I would say before we even consider that. I feel like that's a safe assessment. Would y'all agree?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Or an animated movie Hunter brings up, that could work.
That would be
animated or comic is more likely than live action.
Well, for right now, because again, it's like if those come out, and because here's the thing, I feel like the people that are saying live action or nothing are treating it like if the animation, if like they do animated or comic, that discounts they'll ever do live action, and that's just not true.
No, that's not what it means.
Well, yeah, we know that because again, if it comes out and it sells well, which let's be honest, it probably will sell well. Guess what? You now have real numbers now, not like numbers in the past, numbers now in this market, because you no longer have to worry about, okay, well, if you adjust for inflation, but then again, the movie market was different back then. All right, that no longer is a factor. If it comes out now in like comics or animation or live action and it does great, then you can go to them and say, hey, based upon these numbers, maybe we should do one movie to conclude this. And then guess what? A live action version of this movie comes out. Zack concludes the story. There you go. We're done.
Even if it doesn't do well, you got it out of his system.
Well, yeah, exactly. Most likely it will, but I see what you're talking about Robert.
Well,
but yeah,
if you have so many people who are live action or nothing, it might not.
Oh, they'll still, Teladia, all those people that say live action or nothing, they'll still see it.
Yeah.
Anyone telling you they won't see it, I there's a very special word for these people. Starts with an L. Jay, can you guess what the word is?
Starts with an L.
Lame.
Lame?
No, it's not Lois. It's
Lewis? No. Losers?
No. I'll tell you what. It's like the opposite of Wonder Woman.
That's what said Lois. Lois Lane.
Liars. They're liars. They were so good to see it.
All right.
Yeah, they're so gonna. And Hunter, they're not gonna do one of these movies in animated and one in live action.
No, they will not do that.
Again, what they're going to, if they do this at all live action, animated, it will be animated only, one movie to conclude it. That's it. And then it's like maybe they push it to live action later. That's the scenario. They're not going to mix and match.
No, that's stupid. That is stupid.
Yeah, I'm like, no, that's not the way you actually. That's very like, what's the word for it? It's
Uncouth?
not. It's inefficient. Let me put it that way. It's inefficient. But anyway, it's like the other topic that I really want to talk about that we're going to discuss. So it's a Man of Tomorrow topic that relates to lanterns. All right. So it was confirmed that Jon Stewart is going to be, thanks, Anthony, but don't say never, bro. More impossible things have happened before. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. Let me change topics here. So the thing is, it was confirmed that Jon Stewart's going to be a Man of Tomorrow, which, all right. So the Lanterns thing came out and it ignited the internet. Let me put it that way. My question is, so what does this mean for Hal Jordan?
Who can say?
Because my problem is with the way Lindelof does, Robert, is he going to Emerald Twilight Hal? And let's not forget Tom King is the other chief creative person on the show.
I'm still blaming Lindelof more than King.
We'll see about that because it's like, remember, they're both like the main creatives of the show.
True,
I would argue more Tomorrowverse than Emerald Twilight. I think they're just going to kill Hal off.
Yeah, well, even then, Tomorrowverse was adapting essentially Emerald Twilight.
Really more. I mean, Emerald Twilight with a little bit of 0 Hour sprinkled in.
Essentially, yeah.
Regardless.
The point is, Hal's gonna die. Hal's gonna die. Yeah, but Hunter, he said, I'm gonna be doing this until I'm dead. Watch the trailer.
And if you've seen any buddy cop movie, especially one that references 3 days before retirement, the elder ends up being unalived or passing away by the third act.
Or being crooked.
Or being crooked. Oh, if they make Hal Jordan crooked, which, let's be honest, that is within both of their like purviews. I'm like,
My guess is they're going to be. He's trying to make up for his old age by doing darker, more Sinestro-like tactics.
Are they going to make a Hal Sinestro now? Oh, God.
No. I think it'd be more of a case of Sinestro was right. I think that's where they're going.
Anyone that tries to, any creative that tries to do the whole Sinestro is right thing has no concept of what Green Lantern actually is.
Yep. They might as well say a certain other evil figure in history was right.
Or Thanos was right. And I go, no, I'm sorry. No.
Well,
Who started that meme anyway? I'm genuinely curious.
Thanos? Probably Infinity War is what I think.
Did his Lindelof, dude, he probably would fit in a, World War II enemy into it.
Plus, the white guy's the bad guy in this show. Okay, that is
so Lindelof.
Yeah, we also know they're going to totally screw over Al. They literally made him an alien-hating redneck. Be prepared for Lindelof turning into a white supremacist parallax. Yeah, if he
now let's play devil's advocate here. Now we could be super fans and nerds all till the cows come home. No pun intended. But I feel like they're especially with Paramount. A lot of Paramount's popular content is westerns or like Twin Peaks or basically grounded western shows. I understand you're playing from a marketing and optics standpoint. I understand that. even in
Paramount.
I'm speaking like what's popular on TV right now. I'm just using Paramount Plus as an example. But
Okay.
but yeah, you can't make Green Lantern grounded.
Well,
it can't. Well, if you're not using Alan Scott, let me say that.
Well, let me play devil's advocate on top of your playing devil's advocate. Because here's the thing, Jay. There's a good portion of Green Lantern stories that do take place solely on Earth.
Heart-traveling heroes.
So yeah, it looks like they're doing heart-traveling heroes, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's like the vibe they're going for. So the whole taking place on Earth part, pretty much, isn't the part that's really bothering me. It's the ignoring of the other Green Lantern stuff. Like, they're ignoring the selection process for the ring, because what normally happens, it's not like it's not like they assign you a like probation lantern to train you. What normally happens is you get the ring, it teleports you to Oa, you're trained by Kilowog, and then once you become a lantern, you're done.
It doesn't always teleport you. Sometimes
it's basically boot camp. At most, you're only gone for a couple of months.
Yeah, but it doesn't always teleport you. Sometimes it does keep you. You stay there, and then someone comes gets you.
The point is, at some point, there is a trip to Oa.
Yep.
And I will say it is kind of a red flag. So it's like, here's the problem. So Gunn has said that the timeline for the DCU is in release order. In other words, Creature Commandos take place before Superman, which take place before Lanterns. The problem with that is that Hal says he's never talked to other Green Lanterns and basically says he's the only human. So I'm like, either Guy Gardner is lying about being a Green Lantern, or no one is talking at the creative head. This is the new 52 all over again.
To be fair, they have said that Guy is going to have a cameo, from what I understand.
Yes, that, and like as we all know, depending on the version, Guy Gardner does end up spending the latter over a decade in a coma. Maybe Guy Gardner's cameo in Lantern is literally Guy coming out of his coma.
No, that wouldn't make sense. Because then what about everything we just saw again? If this is the old release order, that means he's already out of his coma.
He did say he was going to be structured like Star Wars, where some things will be set in the past. So this might be either this is a prequel story or this will be a flashback.
But at the very least, no, he did clarify at the very least that these first few projects are in release order in terms of timeline.
Okay.
And Hunter, he's not an alien in the comics. No, I don't know where you're getting that from.
No, wait, what?
Yeah, if you're talking about the warrior thing, that was a different.
That's a different thing.
It's not an alien. And by the way, and Anthony, no, it's like by the time we meet Clark, I think Hal's no, he's not retired because he's because Hal is in the Lantern show. So the way
my guess is here's my guess. My guess is Hal is more like not on good terms with Guy, which wouldn't be too far-fetched, and thus he'd rather not bring him up. And then Guy shows up, and then John's like, I thought you said you haven't talked to any others. Yeah, I don't count him. He's not a Lantern.
Or maybe maybe Guy did something as a Lantern. Or maybe, here's the thing. And I would congratulate them if they did this. What if what they do is Hal goes, no, you're doing the will of a corporation. You're not a Green Lantern.
That too.
David,
if they did that, I'd be very surprised. And Anthony says, for me, I feel like time we get to Guy is already dead.
What?
That doesn't make sense.
And no, Gunn has already said these take place in the order. None of these are flashbacks.
Yeah, where the heck did he care about Guy being dead?
I have no idea. Dave says, I believe that the car in Lantern is the same for Training Day. Probably a clue that Hal will be crooked like Denzel in the movie and working with Sinestro, who's been cast in the show.
That's basically a ripoff of Beware My Power, but I appreciate the conversation.
And a bit of a ripoff of the other Green Lantern animated movie.
There was
Oh yeah, because in First Flight, Boudica was like in league with Sinestro.
Yeah. First Flight did kind of have a Training Day vibe to it, didn't it?
Even more so.
Except it did it better because granted, here's the thing: it was animated, so you could do that. I understand James Gunn said, but can we take everything he says at face value?
That is true.
Nothing. What indicates that Guy is dead, Anthony? What indicates that, guys? Give me something beyond that, because I think that's very reaching.
Yeah, where the heck? Like they wouldn't kill him off screen.
And Tevio, how was First Flight bad?
Clarify that. It wasn't that good, to be fair. They rushed the.
I felt it was good.
The third act was rushed. No one's refuting that. The second act onward was rushed. But you could get the overall story, the adaptation, the vibe was there. Emerald Knights is an improvement.
By the way, Jared, I'll tell you afterwards.
The only fault I see with First Flight is that the latter half of the film was rushed. That is the only thing I would say about First Flight. There's a pacing problem.
He had no characterization. He was already good. He didn't learn anything.
I see.
You had
so Teladia,
evil just because you needed an evil crooked lantern.
So Teladia, what do you think of like Hal Jordan and like for lanterns and like Jon Stewart and stuff?
So first, let me kick things off with Jon Stewart. I think Jon Stewart, the whole ordeal, I think that is leading up to a Justice League film, and they're gonna go down the DCAU route. I know Jared is not. That lineup isn't the best lineup for him because he prefers the New 52 lineup as he should. But what I believe is James Gunn is going down the DCAU route, which is Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Hawkgirl, and Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter. And I think this is just leading breadcrumbs into that. With Man of Tomorrow, as far as
it's a safe bet. Go ahead, Teladia, but it's a safe bet.
And when it comes down to Hal Jordan, I don't see him becoming Parallax, but I do see him retiring like Alan Scott.
Okay. Oh, and by the way, Hunter, that was retconned away. He's a human.
Wait.
Yeah, but that was
the Warrior side.
Yeah, that was retconned out.
Here's the thing. Even when he became Warrior, it wasn't that he was always an alien. It was the fact that he had an alien suit that bonded with him, gave him it. Then by the time of Rebirth, the Hal inadvertently caused the gene to reject him.
Yeah, and by Anthony says, why I feel Guy Gardner's dead. By the time we get to Superman I think whatever's responsible for the murders killed him because...
I think he's referring to Hal. That's what's happening.
No, but he's talking about Guy Gardner being dead.
They would have made a big deal.
Those are flashbacks.
Nathan Fillion. They would have made a big deal about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. And Anthony, all I'm saying is that, you can take what Gunn says face value. He has said or done nothing. And there are most things that I think he, at least in terms of like the timeline, he has to be like full on with that. None of this is flashbacks. He has been very clear about that. He would tell you if these were flashbacks.
And again, Fillion's big enough a name of an actor that they would not just keep it under wraps.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, Dave says the rumor is Hal and John are investigating the murder of Alan Scott, and the brown suit is in the closet is Alan's.
I don't buy that. Deep
cut. But I don't.
But why would they give Alan the more armored suit?
Yeah, I don't buy it.
I mean, it's more practical than just the cape overlay. So I could see it from a production standpoint, but it'd be forced.
And if that would make it be Alan with more of a traditional Green Lantern, not a mystical Green Lantern.
Yeah, exactly. What was the war idea for Guy Gardner as Warrior?
Edgy 90s. I believe the Warrior thing was in the Warrior series was in 94, 95. Robert, can you confirm
Very
that?
edgy, written by Bo Smith, who was definitely, let me put it this way, he was Benjamin Percy of the 90s.
Oh, God.
What?
That just means he was a pretty good writer.
Yeah, He was a manly man.
Yeah, because when I think of Warrior, I think of her wrestling for some strange reason. Oh, yeah, the Ultimate Warrior, yeah.
WrestleMania, oh, God.
Let's get back on topic, gentlemen.
Now, here's the Superman punch. I'm only kidding. Now, here's the real question. How many episodes do we think Lantern's going to be? I think it's like 8 episodes is what they said.
8.
Wait, what Green Lantern in the comics uses a dark grayish suit? Because that doesn't feel like how...
Outside of Earth 1, where the suit was very practical,
None of them use a brown suit.
Robert, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the Earth One Elseworld comic, didn't Hal's original suit in that story overlay on top of his pilot uniform?
Let me check.
No.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. Hang on.
It never
Okay.
overlaid.
And it wasn't a physical suit. The thing about it is, by the way, here's Hal's Green Lantern suit. Notice it's bright effing green. So anyone trying to say, "Oh, it's Earth One," lying.
Okay.
But it could be a mixture of things.
Yeah.
Jared.
It could be a mixture. Yeah.
None of these suits are brown.
It could be.
I'm willing to wait and see if they do color correct it. Because as I've said before, Jared, there's this standard that they do. They
Shouldn't
will
be the
sometimes put
standard.
out a version where the color is off and then they fix it in post.
They did the same thing with
Lots of movies do it.
Here's why I'm having a little bit. So you release something that's that extremely different?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I would have preferred an actual practical green suit with like a little bit of CGI for effect. But if they're just going to use a standard bland suit and then use the green overlay in post, it's cheaper to do it that way from a production standpoint, but it's not going to leave the same impact from a teaser in terms of the teaser.
Agreed.
Yeah,
but if you're trying to cut costs, and it's understandable. It's either, the green effect is either going to be CGI or it's going to be recolored in post.
But you got to remember, this show was taking place during the cutback era of Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yeah.
So obviously it's not going to be like top quality green everywhere. So maybe they just thought. So obviously maybe they thought, all right, why don't we'll try something. At least it's not CGI, okay? At least it's not.
It's not green or animated. Yeah, I know.
At least it's not like. It's not like.
Not like the Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yeah, it's not like the Ryan Reynolds movie. So.
Yeah, that suit design was atrocious. If it weren't for the CGI, if that suit was practical, it would have been decent.
I know, right?
Well, no, here's the thing. Here's the problem with that suit. It's not the actual suit. It's the mask. That's where people had the issues with. The overall suit looked fine. It's just because the human face is notoriously hard to animate.
That's true.
Yeah, I agree. The domino mask should have been practical.
He says, I have a question. The suit we see in the trailers can be possible. The reason why it's a tannish, greenish gray, you mean brown, because Hal is trying to solve a case by himself before. How would wait?
What?
Okay, wait.
What?
That doesn't make okay. So
I'm
the
lost.
reason why the suit is tannish is brown is because Hal's trying to solve the case by himself before enlist John's help. How does that lead to a brown suit?
Hold on, Anthony. Are you trying to say he's trying to solve the case without using his powers?
But even that would not lead to a brown suit.
Yeah.
Can you send the concept art, Jared? What concept art?
What?
I have a question. If the show does get 3 seasons, will they go to space? That depends. I mean, they said that they're going to go to space in this show as well, so it's not necessarily like.
It's going to be on the cheap, of course.
Yeah, let me put it this way. I could see them going to like one room on Oa, let's say, because I don't think we're gonna see like a big sweeping landscape of Oa.
No,
I
definitely
will say
not.
this though: if I were to make a long term, assuming all this goes through, I'm gonna make a long term prediction that the big threat they're setting up is the center. I mean, it's right within James Gunn's wheelhouse. Yes, Robert, I know you're going to tell me in a moment that Darwin Cook, rest in peace, New Frontier is a period piece. But in terms of a Justice League event movie, I'm not saying it's the standard. I'm not saying ideal, but it is simplistic, and you do get a lot of it's a solid story.
Anthony clarifies. What I'm saying is maybe while investigating this case by himself, he goes to a planet where he accuses someone who has something to do with fire and burns the suit. But burning a Green Lantern suit does not turn it brown. That's not.
It doesn't.
That's not the way the suit works. It's like even in the suit, like with this way. Remember when the Superman suit was battle damaged in that first look, and we got to look at it. That even with that, they went back to a regular suit. So I'm like, how does that line up? How cheap will it be for them going to space? Because it sounds super lazy. No, but Tevye, what you have to realize, even though it's like HBO, what you have. Oh, about who and what is the center? Someone explain what these.
The center was basically Dinosaur Island made sentient.
Yeah, exactly. I just sent you. I'm not gonna share stuff from DMs on Instagram, Hunter. I've told you this many times. Oh, yeah, I'm not a big Green Lantern person. That's why I'm just okay, and that's fine. That's understandable, but that's not. And 100%, I get that. It's just that's not necessarily the way the Lanterns thing works. So just for your own knowledge, the suit typically, I'm saying typically because they've gone back and forth on this, suit typically is a energy construct by the ring. There have been versions that go back and forth on this, so that's not necessarily like the be-all, end-all, but typically that's that. But even with that, it's like, I doubt that that would, do you think Hal Jordan loses his will? If he lost his will, he wouldn't be able to use the ring at all. Clearly, he wouldn't be able to fly.
He can be corrupted. I mean, Emerald Twilight, Parallax, that's a perfect example. He can become corrupted, but you would really have to sell that well. The beauty of Emerald Twilight, now it's controversial to this day.
The beauty of Emerald Twilight, watch yourself, brother.
But the beauty of Emerald Twilight is the story of Hal, who lost his entire city, his loved ones. I think Carol. Did Carol survive that, or what was she? Or was she retconned to have survived it in the destruction of Coast City during Reign of the Superman?
She always survived it.
Huh?
Yeah, Carol always survived it.
Oh, Carol always survived it. Okay, thank you for clearing that up.
Because she was out of town.
Oh, she was out of town at the time. Okay, thank you.
And by the way, Hunter, I just looked at the DM you sent me, and those are not official concept art suits. Those are just like fan suits. So be careful what you look at when you consider things concept art. But Emerald Twilight, it's not a mess of a. How does this make no sense, Tevye?
Okay, think of it like this. Yes, though if you factor Jeff Johns' retcon with Parallax, it makes no sense. It's not. It can be nonsensical. But in the original story, it is literally Hal having a mental breakdown and trauma response to the destruction of Coast City. He goes on a tear. The Guardians try to reprimand him, and Hal just crashes out.
Yep.
That is the simplicity of Emerald Twilight. Mm-hmm. Now, if you factor Jeff Johns' retcon, the Parallax, the Silver Age weakness to fear is a byproduct of Parallax being sealed in the Lantern power battery, and it was slowly influencing and corrupting Hal over time. And the events and the destruction of Coast City just happened to be Hal's breaking point, which allowed Parallax to possess him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but how is John portraying the Justice League animated series, specifically on Unlimited, where he's very outgoing? Is that how he is in the comics, where he's very...
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's very accurate. In terms of characterization, let me put it this way, John is one of the things that the Justice League cartoon got right. So I have no problem with them.
Especially pre-Zanchi, John.
Yeah, so what for your edification, Anthony, what we mean by Zanchi is that there was a mission, there was a storyline called Cosmic Odyssey, where the Justice League had to team up with Darkseid to stop like an apocalypse. The point is, John makes a mistake on a mission, and a planet blows up because of it.
And he roared. It haunts him to this day.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about pre-Zanchi, John. Basically with Hal Jordan going on a rampage, which a lot of Green Lantern fans at times really don't like. But what does that have to do with it not making sense?
Yeah,
Parallax stuff.
Yeah,
I was happy with because it was a way out for Hal Jordan. Yeah, how does it not make sense? That's what I want to be clear. Justice League Unlimited was a very simplified version of Hal Jordan.
I agree.
Because here's the thing about the DCAU. So they wanted to do a lot of the origins for the comic characters in the cartoons. The problem is to do the actual Kyle Rayner origin, you needed Hal Jordan to exist and be Parallax, and that doesn't happen.
So they gave him the Hal origin,
which I was fine with that, because when you really look at it, it's like, okay, I get that. That one makes sense. Even Wally West and stuff. Do you guys think it's unfair for every Green Lantern fans, Stuart and Jordan, expecting John to be very verbose and arrogant type person when that's not a Marine? Marines can be verbose and arrogant. I'll tell you that much.
They can be.
They can be. So it's
infamously so.
Infamously so. But so
which is partially why I can understand why John's being a little bit full of himself and like, I'm here to be better.
Which, yeah, to a degree, it's just, and I get this, and see, here's the thing.
With anyone else involved, I wouldn't be worried.
I was on a panel talking about this, and someone said, well, it's from the comics. And I go, I get it's from the comics, but not everything from the comics should be adapted.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Exactly. Just because it's from the comics does not necessarily give it because let me put it this way. By that logic, remember the comic where Lois does blackface?
Yep. I'll say this. Going with the hypnoglass goggles or glasses should not have worked. They made it work by just making a footnote.
Yeah, exactly. So that you can actually work. So we think Hal is going to be portrayed as Kirk since that's how casual think of him. No, I think that
I would argue.
Honestly, I feel like Hal being Captain Kirk and always sleeping around, that's gone. That's been
they've been phased that out. They've been phased that out. I think they phased that out in the 90s.
Tevia says it makes no sense because apparently before the storyline happens, from what I heard, he was fine in the previous storyline. No, but was that true with the storyline itself? Forget about everything
the
around
subtext
it.
leading up to it. Yes, it was
All
not.
right, Tevia, you want an answer? They changed writers. That's why.
That's why. And then they decided they had to get rid of Hal because at the time, the fan base wasn't responding to him. So they told, I think it was Ron Mars, okay, do something.
And the other reason is also Gerard Jones, the scumbag. They looked at the story and realized this is the big 50th issue. It isn't changing much.
Yeah, exactly. And then, the DCAU version of Kyle Rayner is the amalgamation of Hal and Kyle. He exists in the DCAU. Yeah, which I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Danny Cornelius did exist in versus the Elite, the Fatal Five.
Yeah,
and even in the time travel episode of Unlimited, where John is like, he's on time.
Okay, I'm up to speed.
Yeah,
but I think Elite versus Fatal 5 retconned it to where Hal was mostly on Oa, at least for the majority of the DCAU. At least that's how they explained it.
But Anthony says, and the reason why I've asked the question is because I've talked to a ton of Marines from World War II in Korea. They're not that arrogant. Well, here's the thing. They're not that now. But it's like then, active duty Marines or dudes fresh out can be arrogant from what I have seen and observed and talked to people about. So it's like that again, the arrogant part, I get it. It's like it's not necessarily something that I really like, and I get it's from the comics, but again, not everything from the comics really needs to be adapted, but I kind of understand it. But
think of it like this, Anthony. Fresh out of boot camp, yes, but they eventually get humbled and grow out of it.
Yep.
Particularly if you're talking about guys that served in World War II because they've had like decades to outgrow that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the other thing. I wouldn't put it past Lindelof to have Arissa and others Me Too Hal or something.
Oh, God.
No.
Oh, God.
No Lindelof, he would.
I want to believe
he would.
Here's the thing. I want to believe that that Warner Brothers wouldn't let them do that.
No.
I want to believe that. However, I'm a little concerned about that too. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, the arrogant stuff with Hal Jordan is, it's like, it's not like I have, let me put it this way, that's not a deal breaker for me. More of the deal breaker was just the aesthetic of the teaser. And I get it's a teaser. I get it. But the problem is, okay, again, I'm going to say this again. I've said this 80 times in the show. I'm going to say it again. Teladia, what's the purpose of a teaser?
It just teases something.
Okay, Robert, what's the purpose of a teaser?
To give us a sample.
Okay, a sample of like everything that's like around the show, right?
Yep.
So at least as of now, this could change again. I'm fully letting it change. As a Green Lantern fan, to me, it didn't really hit the mark. Now,
I understand.
That could change later. That could just, well, and Anthony brings up a good point to get you excited for the thing, to get you a hook on the show. Yeah, that's true. Now, again, I fully expect the next time we get like a teaser or a trailer of this is when they'll go, put the green in there. Just, can you put one
Just a touch of green. Just a touch of green.
Can you put one color corrected shot of the suit?
I wouldn't surprise if they give them a little bit of extra money to do color correction. That could be another reason. They could have done it. Be like, yeah, we need a little more money.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't Lanterns get delayed? Because I'm pretty sure the original announcement was set for spring of this year.
Mm-hmm. Another reason why I asked that is because a lot of people who are Green Lantern fans said John's stories are usually very bland and boring. That does not, because here's the thing. Typically, and yes, Anthony, that is an accusation I've heard as well, and this is coming from someone that's like a huge Green Lantern fan. What I think it typically comes from is that because Hal is like the star of the Green Lantern books, at least the Lantern books, he gets all of the really well-known stories. So comparatively, you could see him like that. I would argue nowadays with like Green Lantern War Journal and like Invictus and the storylines like that, he has been getting a lot more attention.
I'll put it this way: the last time, besides War Journal, that John was the lead, not counting Jeffrey Thorne's run, was Mosaic.
Yeah, exactly.
So and that was ages ago.
John works better. John works better in ensemble titles. Hal can carry a title.
And here's the thing. I still think that like John could carry a title if he was given a chance to.
Oh, the potential is there.
It's just like they need to give him the opportunity to.
And not have so much editorial interference.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Not to mention the part that really annoys me, speaking of DCAU, is there are people that are saying that they should pair in the DCU, in other words, in the James Gunn DCU, they have said, and this is how I know people don't pay attention in these movies. You ready, Robert? This is gonna make you blow a
Hawkgirl!
Hawkgirl!
1, that's not even the right character.
2, she's younger!
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, that's not even that's not Shiera, that's Kendra. It's firmly established as Kendra. And if people
John and Shiera only worked because of the Thanagarian twist. That's the only. And
I know it's Shiera. That wasn't even Kendra.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like even remember in Green Lantern Corps where people were like concerned that like Jeremy Adams was gonna put like John with shot.
Yeah, no, and it was like it was just the awkwardness.
It was just the awkward tease. Like maybe they did have something in the past, but yeah, exactly, Cameron. That's how I know that these Twitter accounts are just blindly thinking of DCAU, but not actually paying attention to these movies.
I did love that bit of them stuck in the closet, very close, and it's just like, yeah.
It's like, hey, yeah. I'm like,
and she's completely chilled.
Yeah, because Shiera would be. But it's like that's the funny part about it, because I'm like, you guys realize she's the Kendra Saunders Hawkgirl, right?
Well, to be fair, in the end, that Jon Stewart wasn't real.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about in the movies. So I'm like, if she was Shiera, you would have a point, but she's firmly established to be Kendra.
Exactly.
I'm going to start pushing back at that from now on, because people really need to know that's not even the Green Lantern that was with, that's not even the Hawkgirl that was there. Granted,
they were calling her a Hawkgirl in JLU, yes.
But okay. Her name is not Shiera. It's firmly, Gunn confirmed her name is Kendra.
Yep.
Okay. All right, this is all I'm going to say. The DCAU from the 2000s, 1992, all that, is an amalgamation of late Silver Age, early Bronze Age in terms of an adaptation. That is mostly where the DCAU is based off. Late Silver Age, early Bronze Age, with a few more recent storylines sprinkled in towards the end. With that being said, Shiera, the Thero flashback episode told the reincarnation cycle for Hawkman and Hawkgirl, probably the most simplistic way you could explain it. Kendra debuted around the same time Damian Wayne did in 2006, if not a couple years earlier.
I think
Shiera.
I think she had her own series.
Oh, she did. I think she did have her own solo title. Yes,
twice. They renamed Hawkman to Hawkgirl for her, and then that was their point when they killed off Shiera initially during Rand Sanagar War, and then it was then you had that horrible miniseries recently.
Wait, Hawkworld or
Hawkgirl?
Okay, thank you. Oh, Axelrod, yeah.
Yeah, you
And
had
by
the
way,
two.
yeah, that series. That as soon as I saw what it was about, so it was the quickest pre-order. What happened is that I added to my pull list because I was like, okay, Hawk Girl book. I immediately saw the previews for it. I was like, nope. But Anthony says when it comes to John specifically, is it just the Justice Unlimited where he has the relationship with Hawk Girl? Yes, it's just the Justice Unlimited. That has never been a remotely
Just like with him and Vixen.
Yeah, it's mostly him and Mari, but it's definitely.
Well, no. I'm saying even there, that was never canon anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
There's always been Katma. Katma's always been his true love.
Tevia says, okay, in all seriousness, though, if this The Green Lantern show does succeed and surprises us so good, ever changing his mind to show, suspectful that I want to be. What was the... yeah, I think he's saying it could surprise us. Yeah, exactly. I'm going in there. I'm still going to give it a shot because, again, it's like there's plenty of like projects that I went in expecting to hate, but I didn't like. Now, again, let's be clear. The creatives in charge are the big red flag for me because if it weren't, I'd be like, okay.
And let's not forget, early Watchmen episodes were dang good.
Yeah, and now that's why I'm going to give the entire season a shot because I want to see it because even if the first episode is good, could be down the line it gets really horrible.
Or the other way around.
Yeah, or it gets amazing. So it's like, let me put it this way. All I'm saying is that so far, I don't have a lot of confidence. That could 120% change. And Anthony says, if the show ends up being successful, do they continue the story that we see into a John Stewart Green Lantern movie if we get that far?
Depending on how big of a success.
Yeah, if not...
if it's a moderate success, they'll just get another season. If it's like a blow your mind off success...
If they blow the mind off success, what I could see them doing is doing a Green Lantern movie and then doing a Green Lantern Corps show.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they do the Green Lantern Corps, then you can do like all the other lanterns. You could do the Lantern Wars. You can use that to set up like, even if, because there's some conjecture that dude that Hal is interrogating is William Hand, a.k.a. Black Hand. So if my theory is correct and the big threat is Blackest Night, you could use that to do the War of Light.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's any number of things we can do. Only good thing about this is that let me put it this way, it could get kicking off Wonder Woman. Exactly. And by the way, Dave says, I want the show to be good. I love Green Lantern. I don't want it to be a mainstream embarrassment. My expectations are in the ninth circle of hell, though. Yeah, exactly. I'm in the same spot Dave is. I don't have great expectations, but then again, if it's good, like this way, the best part about having low expectations for everything is that if it's good, it's all 100% awesome. If it's bad, it's not that big of a disappointment because you're already expecting it to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
But the important thing is, yes, give it a shot. Give everything a shot because, again, there are plenty of stuff that I didn't expect to like, but ended up going, okay, this is actually pretty good. But anyway, I think that is a good place to leave it. This was a fun little episode with the four of us. Jay, where can we find you? What have you got coming on your channel?
You can find me at jheat75 or jheat Blaze, where I do movie reviews, gaming, anime, manga content, and just everything all media. We are on the verge of 310 subscribers, so I really hope to reach that milestone before the end of the year. I'm really excited about that. And yeah, just thanks once again. Thanks for having me. Like, comment, subscribe to everyone here. They're great people.
Hell yeah, Robert. How about you?
Link down below. You can take. I'm building up to less than 700 in a couple months.
Hell yeah, Teladia. How about you?
You guys can check me out on YouTube at Teladia Plays and at Teladia Plays _ on X. What I've got coming up on my channel is I will be doing a members only video in regards to the DCU and how I feel about some of the projects that are coming out. What do I think of the future for it? And I also got a gaming stream coming up next week, next Friday actually, as we are going to be doing some more Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I'm doing that is because it's Ramadan is finished, so I get time off. I could get to play and not to be exhausted or whatnot. So, but yeah, so make sure you guys come over to my stream on Friday next week, and that's where I'll do Marvel Rivals. And then, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I'm also on Pie Nation and Council of Creators weekly. So stay tuned for that. Oh, and the vodka stream. So make sure you come over there too.
Yeah, hell yeah. So as for me, tomorrow Britt and I will be going live at 9:30 for Super Wonder Legacy. I think it's live. I got to confirm with her. And we're going to be just comparing Wonder Woman to Red Sonja and talking about why Diana's not really a warrior. For movie night, we're talking about Brightburn. And then for Amazon Answers, I'm talking about the James Tynion and Ram V Justice League Dark Run. I haven't really figured out what Wonder Woman Wednesday is going to be next week, but be sure to check out this week's episode where I talk about why Earth 2 Fury is a better daughter of Wonder Woman than Trinity. Anyway, stay at work, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She belongs to General Zod and Steve Trevor, sack of moldy potatoes. Zoe's the Max Bet for life. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.